Alright guys, so we have a nice little TRD in the shop today. We are going to our Phantom rear open with the tree savers. So we're going to go over the install process, do some measurements for you, and kind of show you the difference as to what you get with this change-up. So some key things here, you need to undo your trailer harness. I like snapping these from the back, and then you have to squeeze the plug to get it to slide off, and I just like using a quick little slip jaw. Squeeze down on that, this pops right off. And then right underneath here, I'll show you here in a second. So right underneath here, you'll have two plugs right there. You just go ahead and undo both of those. Now the rear bumper's off. We gotta come through, dry everything off on this side so we can get tape to stick. And we're gonna run our tape off of the bottom of the taillight, forward, level with the bedside here. And I use 1.5" tape because it gives me the perfect spacing that I want. And I'll kind of show you guys that process. Alright, so I've got my tape marks laid. So now what I'm going to go do is, you've got all these, they should be 10 mil. So I'll remove these and the inner bracket support in there and pull those off. Some people will use those, flip it, and slide it out one hole. So you only use one hole on that side and bolt it to their fender flares if you still keep them. Otherwise, we know it's something that we're working on for a bolt-on piece for those that don't have fender flares and fully trimmed fenders. So when you're cutting, one important thing to notice, so I put the tape up and I use the bottom side for where I want my cut line to be. The top side is giving me my spacing. So for these 3rd gens on a Phantom, I like going 1.5". You can go inch, but 1.5" is a good starting point because I like removing less material than needed. So when you're cutting, if you have to worry about where you're at, always cut down. If you screw up going up, you have to remove more material. If you screw up going down, you just have to come back and clean that spot up. And don't be super worried about having small nuances. I mean, obviously you want this nice, you can see, nice, clean, straight cut. You need to pull some of that stuff off, clean this up, get it all prepped for a liner. But when you put that sealant liner on there, it'll help clean up any of those small imperfections in your cut line. So don't be super stressed about that, but use it as a good guide all the way back. All right, everything is cleaned up, cut, ready to go. So now we're getting ready to put the bumper on. So what I'm gonna do is take this tape and I'm gonna cover any areas that might come into contact with stuff that's not clearanced enough. That way I don't tear up the powder coat. If you have a raw bumper and you're doing your test fit before you get coating, then that is definitely not a step you have to take. But I definitely do like coming back, and for ones that are going back on, even if you've already done your test fit and you're just reinstalling, it's a good way to make sure you don't tear up the powder coat. Alright, so I got the bumper pretty much where I wanted it. Kind of cleaned up a little spots. Basically, if you do the 1.5" like I did, 1.5" space, you're going to want to trim a little bit more back here because you're going to be tight to the tube. Where the body line sucks in, you can leave it the longer length, and then up here, you're going to gradually get a little bit higher, and you're going to put a little peak right here basically to fit right around, because that'll suck right in underneath. Because we set this up so it should come right off your factory flare. So, you know, same on this side. A little bit tighter in here, opens up some room, and then gets tighter there. So we'll pull the tape off, get this thing cinched up. You know, we need to get all the hardware in, get it tightened down. You can see the fit here with no hardware tightens nice on both sides. Nice smooth fit. Super easy to work with. Alrighty, here's how Phantom looks. Kyle's truck. We just got to get his license plate put on and his wiring harness for his trailer hitch, but otherwise he's ready to roll.